Hey, American contractors, viewers of the American Contractor Show. I'm here with John Dye at Win the Storm, and I have to tell you, anyone that is associated with American Contractor Show, you are a badass.
Big shout out to American Contractor Show. If you don't know, you definitely need to check out the Storm Summit. They're doing it in excellence. Check them out.
Hey, what's up? This is your friend, Francisco Serrano. If you haven't checked it out, American Contractor Show, YouTube channel, Facebook channel, Twitter, Instagram, all the platforms, you need to go them, like them, start learning about your craft.
Hey, I'm Matt Danskin with Restoration Referral System. Check out the American Contractor Show. The truck that they've got is awesome. Everything else that they have going on.
This is Larry Bache with the Northern Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Northern Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
What's up, everyone? Lead meteorologist John Choquette here for your daily forecast, sponsored as always by what you just saw, American Contractor, Marine Law Group, and C3 Group. They're in the description below. Check them out. We had a bunch of storms yesterday, not so much big time on the hail, but we had a lot of tornadoes across Texas, and that trend's going to continue today with Storm Andria. More tornadoes already ongoing, a couple tornadoes just a few minutes ago, and we could see quite a few more this afternoon across the deep south. There could be some hail tomorrow up in Ohio of all places. It's within the, call it the cold core setup, the part within the low pressure system. Could have some hail with that, so we'll check out that. And it looks like there's going to be a pretty wide swath of gusty winds tomorrow as storm system Andria pushes towards the east coast. There'll probably be a pretty intense squall line with some gusty winds up and down the east coast tomorrow, so we'll break all of that down. Before we get to anything, we can come see Andria, the person, tomorrow at the National Women Roofing event. It's going to be 11:30. She's doing a 2022 hail forecast. Come check that out. Go talk to her. It should be a good time. We also have Orca's event, the mini roundup. This is coming up, what day is this? The 29th. So that's next week here. And this is going to be on Britain, off of Britain Road here in Oklahoma City. Come check out. Free event, free lunch. Should be a good time. Come check it out. A couple of us will be there, and you can come say hi and check out what Orca has to offer. So yesterday, I know we were getting a little bit of flack for this. Unfortunately, sometimes forecasts don't pan out one way or the other. The tornadoes really overperformed, while the hail was not so much. We did see some 2-inch hail. We had a 3-star map in New Braunfels, which I don't have a hailstorm recap for, but you can go check that out on our website. Also, look at all these tornadoes. Round Rock, I mean, you guys have probably seen videos from Round Rock, Texas, and Elgin, Texas, and all over here. We had a ton of tornadoes across central Texas last night. Unfortunately, some fatalities with that as well. And a little bit further to the north, we also had the first couple tornadoes of the year in Oklahoma. Also, unfortunately, with some fatalities and some gusty winds, and even a little bit of hail in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. But again, the real story yesterday was tornadoes, quite a bit of those, and that looks to be the trend for today as well. So we're going to jump right into what's happening at this exact moment. Here's where Storm Andria is located. We have, looks like some tornado warnings in effect right now just to the north of Jackson. We may come back for some live coverage if it looks like there's going to be a tornado here in the next 20-30 minutes or so. But notice we have a squall line across sections of Louisiana and now far western sections of Mississippi. And we're going to keep a real close eye on these little showers that are forming currently in southern Mississippi. Any of these that could end up becoming individual supercells, these could have the potential for some more intense tornadoes with them, as well as everything is pushing towards Alabama this afternoon. And behind it, it is chilly, it is cloudy, it is not a great time. So we aren't going to see any severe weather for a little while after all this pushes off the coast by the end of this week. I think this weekend will end up being pretty quiet because it is only 49 degrees in Dallas. It's chilly here in Oklahoma City and everywhere behind the storm system as it's all pushing off to the east. Dew points are very high across the deep south here. You can very clearly see where where the line of storms is right now, where you have the lower dew points behind it, and all of this moisture is feeding into that tornado potential where when I'm bringing up the significant tornado parameter here within the hour, within the storms that are currently tornado warned, the significant tornado parameter is maximizing here in the Jackson metro area in Mississippi. So we got to really keep an eye on it. And this is ongoing now. It's very possible this video will end. We'll turn around and go straight to live coverage if we see any tornadic activity heading into Jackson. As we push forward through the afternoon, by about 3 o'clock, we're east of I-55. That tornado parameter, again, continues to be very concerningly high, not as high as the maximized point for right about now. By dinner time, that pushes into sections of Alabama, and then by about 7 o'clock, near Tuscaloosa has a maximized potential with it, and then by the time the sun goes down, thankfully, the significant tornado chances do decrease to areas probably south of I-65 in Alabama. So how does that correlate to the future radar? Notice this is future radar we saw ongoing. It was slightly further to the east, but you get the basic idea. We get to about 1 o'clock, you're going to see some isolated storms possibly south of I-20 in Mississippi. This squall line very likely will be in Jackson by 1 o'clock, and potentially with some embedded tornadoes with that. And anything out ahead of the line here could have possibly some intense tornadoes. A little bit more discrete supercell activity can provide just enough more instability to warrant bigger tornadoes, but don't discredit this line. This entire line could have tornadoes in it as well, and we've already had that so far this morning. So as we keep pushing through the afternoon, by about 4 o'clock, you could see some activity possibly as far east as Alabama, and then the squall line continues to make its way to the east here through the evening. Now, I just saw a question about hail, and the downside is this really minimizes hail chances, because folks in Dallas and everywhere in Texas yesterday learned when things unzip and turn into a squall line pretty quick, that hail size potential goes from pretty big to pretty small pretty quickly. And this is looking more easily identifiable as a squall line situation through this evening. So we're keeping that hail size potential pretty low here to only about ping pong ball size. That's going to be with any isolated storms that form. Now, it really looks like you may only see 1 or 2 form overall. And I'd say there's probably a higher chance of seeing a big old tornado with any isolated storms than even any hail at all. So we're keeping our chances for Storm Andria today, sponsored by C3 Group, down pretty low. I'm pretty generous here with this orange, saying that's only up to ping pong ball size, not up to golf ball size. I think only about ping pong ball size in that region where isolated storms may form. But notice across the board, low chances for hail. That wind and tornado potential is much higher. So from Jackson to Birmingham to Montgomery, low chances. I think if anybody has any shot at all of seeing anything bigger than quarter size hail, it'll be like the Tuscaloosa area maybe, if we have any isolated storms or down by Meridian. But otherwise, low chances across the board for hail. Today is a tornado and high wind day. Anywhere in this region could see up to 70-mile-per-hour winds, especially Jackson and into the Birmingham area. And anywhere I have in the hatched region has a very significant chance for that tornado potential, like we were just talking about, and just showing you the significant tornado parameter. It really is maximizing over the next couple hours here in Jackson, where you have that high chance. I think things wind down quickly by the time Birmingham and Montgomery are concerned, but here in Jackson, again, that high chance that's like a tornado within 25 miles of the city. I'd say that's very likely to occur. I think we might have already gotten pretty close to that. I know there was one right by Vicksburg not too long ago. We have tornado warnings ongoing. Again, we may turn around and do live coverage right after this. Moderate chance as well down towards New Orleans. You'd say probably a higher chance for Hattiesburg as well, and even towards Meridian. I think everywhere south of I-20 in Mississippi has a much higher chance for tornadoes today than areas north of it. And this isn't limited to just isolated supercells. So that's what we're looking at for today. As we push to tomorrow, everything continues pushing east through the morning hours. We could have some storms form around lunchtime. You see here by about the 2 p.m. hour on the East Coast, we have some possibly isolated storms in South and North Carolina, or just a squall line, kind of a mix of both here. So that could bring some gusty winds, possibly some hail. But notice up here in Indiana and Ohio, within near that low pressure system, we could get some small supercell storms that may not have massive hail with them, but it could still be that marginally severe hail possible through the afternoon hours. Here by about 2:30, notice this model is trying to break up the squall line a little bit to possibly have a little bit better chance for hail, but overall I think it's more of a wind threat along the East Coast. But here again, notice in Indiana and Ohio, there is that chance for some more isolated activity through the afternoon, even by about 4 or 5 o'clock. We see some storms now then pushing away by dinner time across Ohio. So we'll keep an eye on that. Again, I don't think it's going to be a crazy day or anything with like golf ball to 2-inch hail. I think it'll be much more around that. A high volume hail, maybe around that $1.25 to $1.5 size. And then down here in the Carolinas, we'll keep an eye on that. If it favors a squall line, higher wind potential. If it favors breaking up into more individual cells, that could increase your hail chances. So when we bring this up for the actual hail forecast for tomorrow, I have 2 areas we're highlighting. I'm not going crazy. I'm not setting the world on fire here with hail. Keeping it that $1.25 to $1.5 size in both regions, and overall a low chance from Indianapolis to Columbus to Cincinnati here. We could see, again, that $1.25 to $1.5 size. Things could change a little bit, could increase or decrease, so I'm keeping it low for now. Something just interesting to watch. And same basic deal. I could see this changing based on morning observations tomorrow. If we're raging squall line, this could even decrease to nothing. Or if we break up into more supercells or at least broken storms and not just a raging line, we could increase probabilities and maybe even some size potential across North, South Carolina and eastern sections of Georgia. So we'll update you guys on that tomorrow. Wind threat wise, it's a much more widespread risk. Again, I think we're favoring more a squall line, especially in the morning hours across Georgia. So you could see gusts up to 65 miles an hour anywhere in this risk, and that includes up here in Indianapolis, Cincinnati, and Columbus. Any of these storms could have some gusty winds accompanying them. There could be gusty winds even without the storms, just based off of the power of this low pressure system that's pushing through. And I'm keeping it low across the board, all the way from Richmond, Raleigh, Charlotte, down to Atlanta. We'll see how things kind of pan out in the morning. The only concern I have for Georgia and why I don't have Atlanta and a moderate chance for gusty winds is the fact that the line could lose some steam by the time we get to the morning hours, keeping those winds possibly sub-severe. So overall, not a crazy event for tomorrow. The more significant threats were definitely yesterday and today, and everything pushes off the coast, and then we're kind of quiet for the end of the week. So that'll be all she wrote for Storm Andria. You can follow us on all of our social media platforms. We share stuff on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, our TikTok account. If we get to 1,000 followers on TikTok, we can do live coverage on there as well. So follow us at HailTrace on any of our platforms. It'd be greatly appreciated. You can always give us a call as well at 855-334-4245. Any comments, questions, or concerns, you want to get yourself rolling here as storm season is starting to take off a bit, or email us at info@hailtrace.com or visit our website at hailtrace.com. Message us directly in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. We may have live coverage in a little bit here depending on how things are playing out across Mississippi, and if not, we'll see you again tomorrow at 12 p.m.